Okay, 8.3, we've got how political parties are organized in the U.S. First of all, in the United States, political parties are not as powerful as in other countries. They're really just figureheads. They just help their people get elected, and they're really just not very important. They're just decentralized and fragmented. They're probably most important during a presidential election. They just have very little power, and lots of times the candidates don't need the help of the party to get elected. They're in the last couple of presidential elections, they've been there, but they haven't been that big a deal. Let's talk about local parties now and the party machine. And local parties in the past, up until probably 30 years ago, local parties were extremely corrupt. You had the party machine as a kind of party organization, very different from the fragmented, disorganized political party in America, and that's very centralized and controlled, and they reward its members in some fashion, lots of times with jobs or kickbacks, and it's called patronage. And this is one of the big inducements with the party machines, and a job may be awarded to somebody for doing something for the candidate, and then they have to, instead of merit or competence, they reward them on what they did for them. And party leaders made no secret of the corruption, openly selling government positions to raise money for the party. So they didn't care who knew. It was just the way it was going to be. People like New York City's Democratic leader William Boss Tweed, he made somewhere between $40 and $200 million doing just this. Richard Daley, Chicago's leader of the Democratic Party, dispensed 40,000 patronage jobs, and he would ask that they deliver at least 10 votes each, and 5% of their salary for some form of donation to the local party, Democratic Party. So no wonder there were so many more Democrats than Republicans, because they were getting kickbacks and rewarding, especially with the Democratic Party leaders like Daley and Boss Tweed. Now, urban party organizations, they're no longer as active or as powerful as they used to be for three reasons. First of all, they started placing jobs under the merit system, so people were hired on what they could do, not who they knew. Secondly, regulations concerning fair bidding on government contracts took place, so you couldn't just give a job to your buddy Johnny in exchange for something else. Okay, and that they stopped that. And ethnic integration occurred in big cities, and group loyalties that the machines often rely on no longer seem very relevant to many people. So it's just over time they just changed considerably and thankfully. Then you've got the 50 state party systems. No two are exactly alike. Some are more powerful than others. California's is almost non-existent, and Pennsylvania is very strong. So they are very different, and I guess you could just, the reason is that they're just not that important, and so you don't really need to learn a lot about that. We'll get to the 50-state party system. Open and closed primaries, you need to know what those are, and we'll talk more about that in class. But closed is you must vote for somebody in your political party, and open means you can vote for anybody. And we'll talk more about that. But the last thing in this one is national party organizations, and these are mostly terms. And at the national convention, they do two things. First of all, they write the party's platform, and they nominate a candidate for president or vice president. And so that's the main thing they do with that. Chairperson of the party that controls the White House is normally selected by the president himself. So, the president usually selects the chairman, and they have they know the definitions, and you'll be fine. National convention, they meet every 4 years, and I think that's about it with that. It's not a lot in there.